Hello guys, my name is Mr. Mrrboss and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So this is tutorial number 7 of the series of C++. So in the previous video, I basically explained how you can declare variables and how you can also initialize variables. All right, so first, before I continue, I want to talk about the arithmetic operators, because obviously if I'm going to be creating a calculator, I'm going to be using different arithmetic operators. So when I talk about arithmetic operators, I'm basically talking about addition, I'm talking about subtraction, I'm talking about multiplication, and I'm talking about division, and I'm also talking about something that is called the modulus or a remainder, something that is used to find the remainder basically, and it's called the modulus. So basically, if I can just erase this code that I've written over here, and I'm gonna try my best, like be as slow as possible so that you guys can understand what I'll be doing. So first thing first, I want to highlight on the arithmetic operators. So the arithmetic operator for addition is a plus, the one which I've written right here on my screen, and then the arithmetic. So let me just do this. Let me just do this. This is addition, and then we have the arithmetic operator minus, which is basically subtraction. Subtraction. And then we have the arithmetic operator star. Please note that when you are multiplying two numbers, you basically need to use a star. You are not going to use the X on your laptop, on your keyboard. Like for instance, you're not going to use this X to represent multiplication. It's going to give you a bunch of errors because X is X. It's not a multiplication operator. All right. So a star basically represent multiplication, application of the spellings are right over there, and then we have the division arithmetic operator, which is the /. Right, so this is division. Let me just do this. Division. Of course, the reason why it's appearing like this is because this is how you would put additional information. So if I'm going to have 3 /, obviously it's going to see that as a weird thing, considering the fact that we're dealing with coding here. So this is for division, and then obviously we have the modulus, which is this percentage sign. So we use this to find the remainder. Let's say, for instance, you're dealing with integers, and you are adding two decimal numbers, and you know you want to find the remainder of those two decimal numbers. It's going to give you the specific remainder. What comes after the comma is what is going to be outputted, and not what comes before the comma. So that is the function of this modulus, is to basically display or find the remainder of certain numbers that you're basically multiplying, adding, dividing, or whatever the case might be. So in this case, let me just do this. This is a remainder. This is, or let me just give it its name. This is modulus, like this. All right, so guys, these are our arithmetic operators that we're going to be using, to basically create our calculator. I'm sure you guys are aware of most of these arithmetic operators because we use them on a day-to-day basis. And yeah, of course, hopefully you guys will understand. So first of all, let me just talk about the modulus. So if I say int x is equals to 2.4, and then I say int y is equals to what? Let's just say is equals to 1.5, right? And then from there I say that int answer is equals to x divided by y, and then I say cout answer, right? Let me run this and let's see what is going to happen. So I think you can see that it says that the answer is 2. However, we both know that 2.4 divided by 1.5 is not true, is not 2. 2.4 divided by 1.5 is, if I can just calculate it, 2.4 divided by 1.5 is 1.6. So what happened in this case is that when you basically punched this in, it said that, okay, 2.4 divided by 1.5 is the answer of whatever the case might be. And then from there, it said, okay, fine. I'm not going to output what comes after the comma. I'm going to output what comes before the comma. So instead of it outputting the actual answer as is, like for instance, 1.6 or 2 point whatever, it actually outputted the answer of 2. Why is that? It's because it only outputs the whole number. Remember what I told you about integers? I told you answer is an integer, meaning that it's only going to output the whole number. So if I were to say double here, if I were to say double, or if I were to say float, so I'm going to say double there, and then I'm going to say float here, just to show you that they have the same function, and then I'm going to use float as well here. And then if I were to run this, let's see what answer it's going to give us. Now it's giving us an answer of 1.6, of which if you punch into a calculator, you basically get an answer of 1.6. However, when we were using integers, it was outputting an answer of 2. Why is that? It's because integers only deal with whole numbers. So by all means, it's going to try its best to convert the answer to a whole number. And then after converting the answer to a whole number, it's going to output that whole number. So in this case, when I'm using a double, it basically outputs the the decimal as expected. So what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to return the int, as well. So what if I want to basically use an integer? However, I don't want to, I want to output the remainder of a specific addition or subtraction or division, like for instance in this case, what if I want to output that 6 instead of that 1.6? What if I just want to output that 6? That's when we need to use the modulus. So in the place of the division sign, I'm going to replace that with the modulus. So what this is going to do is it's going to output the 6 instead of outputting 1.6. So when you use a modulus, what we're basically saying is that when we divide 2.4 and 1.5, we want our code to actually output the remainder and not actually the whole number with its remainder. All right, so if I run this, let's see this in action. Okay, this one is outputting a 0. And what is the reason for that? It's because in this case, when we round off our answer to the nearest decimal, it's going to be 2.0. That's why when we replace this modulus with a division sign, that's why we get an answer of 2. So we get an answer of 2 because instead of it outputting 1.6, it's rounding that up to an answer of 2.0. So the modulus, which is the remainder of 2.0, is a 0. That's why if we replace this with the modulus, it's going to give us an answer of 0. Remember, these are integers, meaning that it's going to be outputting what we are basically looking for, the decimal part of the integer. So cool. Now let's move on. Let's move on. Not the decimal part of the integer, but it's going to be outputting a whole number instead of it outputting a decimal number. That is very important to note. So now I'm going to move on and I'm going to change these numbers. Okay. So I'm going to change these numbers to, let's say, for instance, here I have 7, and then let's say, for instance, here I have 2. Let's see what this is going to do. Yeah, let me just run it, and then let's see what this is going to do. So the main goal here is for the modulus to output our remainder. So it's saying that our remainder for this is 1. And indeed, if you actually divide 7 divided by 2, the answer is going to be 3.1 because the remainder is a 1. So instead of it actually outputting 3.1, what it's doing is saying, I'm going to output only the remainder, which is a 1. And why is it outputting a 1? It's because we used the modular sign. So if I am to replace the modular sign with the division sign, what is going to happen is that it's going to output the 3. Why is it outputting the 3? It's because it only looks at the integer part of our decimal. So that's cool. So I hope you understand the modulus, and I hope you understand the arithmetic operators. And then in the next tutorial, which is tutorial number 8, I'm going to basically make a basic calculator because I feel like you needed to understand what the arithmetic operators are before I could proceed to actually make a basic calculator. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video and stay tuned.